What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my subscribers. Please like this video and please subscribe to my channel, Black Light. This basically my channel where I get on here and I see different videos, different articles, and then I put my opinion on there and I look up facts and then I share them with anyone who's interested. Um, Today, well, actually, this week it's been a topic that's just been kind of bothering me. Well, not really bothering me, but just been on my mind. And it's what's going on with the vaccination here lately. And I just want to share some different information. Um, and I'm not saying if the vaccination is good to take it or that somebody shouldn't take it, but there's just some questions that I do have um, about the vaccination that makes me question, is the vaccination really working? For one, we know that during the Trump administration, that originally Dr. Fauci and the World Health Organization was saying that it would take years before they would be able to come up with a vaccination that would actually work or a vaccination that would be actually effective. Now, that's what they said originally. And then we know that during the Trump administration, Trump was up for re-election, and we had the pandemic going on. Numbers, a lot of Americans died um, during his administration before, you know, in the process of trying to get a vaccination going. And we know that Trump actually pushed and gave these people a deadline to make a vaccination that originally they said would take years to make or to produce an effective vaccination for the COVID-19 virus, but they ended up coming up with something within months instead of years. So, but why I'm saying this is because we're starting to see a rise again in coronavirus cases. They're claiming that hospitals are beginning to be at capacity again, and people are getting sick again, and pe- states are having deaths again. But I want to show something very interesting, and this comes from the World Health Organization. Now, Africa. Well, first off, let me start off with this video because this video was really giving like a false narrative, in my opinion, because the video was showing people, different countries who have been vaccinated and the countries that have not been vaccinated. And I just wanted us to take a look at this video real quick.
Africa, just 1.5% of the population.
In Africa, 1.5%.
The World Health Organization says the world is in danger of losing hard-won gains in the fight against COVID-19. It says the highly transmissible Delta variant is spreading in more than 2/3 of all countries, with the global vaccination gap aiding the spread. Now, this map shows vaccine doses administered per 100 people across the world.
Okay, now what he's about to show you on here, the darker places, and you will recognize United States and other European nations are the most vaccinated. Now, check this out. I'm gonna let you, and this is from the World Health Organization. They're talking about, they're going to show you the global map. And then the areas that are the darkest blue are the most vaccinated.
This map shows vaccine doses administered per 100 people across the world. And countries shaded in darker blue have a higher vaccination rate. In Africa, just 1.5% of the population has been vaccinated.
Nancy Ndanu died of coronavirus. She was 27 years old.
The problem which caused the death of my daughter is that, first of all, there was not enough vaccination in this country.
Like more than 98% of Africans, Nancy did not have access to a vaccine in her homeland of Kenya.
We had so many bloods together.
Until the vaccination rates are high, people will continue to die, people will continue to get sick, and we allow to exist the breeding ground of new variants that will make people sicker, that will spread to areas that we think are now safe, and we will.
Okay. Now this is my thing with this video. Now, if you don't know any better, or you don't really know the numbers or the statistics or what not the numbers pretty much, you would look at this video and you would say, okay, like they said, um, over 98% of Africa is not vaccinated. So that means less than, like they said, 1.5, around 1.5% of the entire continent has been vaccinated. Less than 2% of the African continent has been vaccinated. Okay, but the narrative that they're given in this video is that Africa needs vaccines, vaccination. People are going to die. More people are going to die. More people are going to get sick, and they got the families on there of the few people who have died. Because I'm gonna show you some other numbers that's going to contradict this video, and it's also by the World Health Organization, which is making me question how valid is the vaccine. But let me finish showing y'all the rest of this video and see what there's the narrative that they're putting, and then I'm gonna show you some other information.
Now, but will erode the health of the gains that we've made within countries such as the United States and Europe that do have those high vaccination rates.
The World Health Organization is highlighting the urgency of the problem.
Do you really accept 1.5% vaccination in Africa, while in some countries it's already 70%? The world is actually morally, epidemiologically, and economically is doing the wrong things.
Okay, now did you hear what he just said? Now they're trying to make it seem like it's a racial or a unethnical or unjust thing because what they're trying to do is get vaccines over to Africa. This is the World Health Organization, the man that's speaking, and he said, "Do you think it's moral? Do you think it's right that other countries like the United States and other countries are already at least 70%, while Africa is only at 1.5%?" That's what he said, and we're going to rewind it so we can hear that again.
Will erode the health of the gains that we've made within countries such as the United States and Europe that do have those high vaccination rates.
The World Health Organization is highlighting the urgency of the problem.
Do you really accept 1.5% vaccination in Africa, while in some countries it's already 70%? The world is actually morally, epidemiologically, and economically is doing the wrong things.
There are huge discrepancies between vaccination levels. In Israel,
Okay,
most of the population
so
has
now you heard
received
that.
two jabs.
The most vaccinated countries are, and I don't know why they don't call the United States a European country. uh, Talking about the most vaccinated is Europe and the United States. Okay, but anyway, let me show you this. Okay, and then this comes from the World Health Organization, and this the same way they had a map showing the amount of people that have received vaccination by color. They do the exact same thing as far as the actual cases. So I'm about to pull that up now from the World Health Organization. At first it said who. I was like who. I was like who is. When they said who, I was like who is that? And I said, oh, World Health Organization. So hold on. But like I said, this is my channel, Black Light. Please like my video. Please subscribe to my channel. I got other videos on my channel that you can check out. Okay, so this is about to be the World Health Organization dashboard for COVID-19, and I'm gonna show you the date. This is an up-to-date date. World Health Organization. And this is today's date. If you see August, where is it at? August 2nd. I can't tell backward. Oh, okay. Well, y'all can see it. It say August 2nd. If you can't see it clear, just go to World Health Organization and then put COVID-19. My phone just died. Okay, no, it didn't, but I do need to charge up because it's almost getting ready to. So, but let me see. Okay, there we go. Okay, how my charger going in, but my phone ain't lighting up. Okay, that's weird. Hold on. And I'm not saying that, I'm for the COVID vaccine or against it. I'm not saying, I'm just got a question because it's not making sense to me when I seen that. And then, like I was saying, we know that Trump was rushing them because originally they said that they wasn't even going to have it. Okay, now check this out. Now in this one, the darker the color is, the more coronavirus cases the country has. Now check this out. The same. Let me see. Now as we can see, nah, this one ain't crazy. And I've been doing this all day now. I suddenly want to act crazy. The map not showing coming up now. It was just on there. Now it's not showing up. Let me take a couple seconds. But what I'm getting ready to show y'all is the same places where they said got most of the vaccination is the ones who got the highest corona cases. Africa, even though they only claim less than 1% of the population is vaccinated, and they're saying it's so unethical and so morally wrong, got least corona cases and deaths than anybody. Now look at this map here. Now when you look at the map, you see on here the darkest colors are the places with the most highest corona cases and the most corona deaths. And this is current. This is August 2nd, 2021. This is today. That right now the most vaccinated, you heard the World Health Organization on there saying that it's unfair that most of Europe and the United States has the most vaccination while Africa, uh, everybody else is at 70%, and Africa's only at 1.5%. But look at Africa. You see the United States, that very dark, Europe very dark, lots of parts of Brazil very dark. The lightest is the continent of Africa and Antarctica and Australia. And this is the World Health Organization. So it's just not making sense to me. For one, the and then I'm gonna tell you something else. There was also an African president that rejected the vaccine. They sent the vaccine over there saying, "Oh, we want to help you. We want to help you. We're gonna give you the vaccine." Come to find out that the vaccine was making the women get blood clots and different things and get sick. And the president rejected the vaccine and told them to take the vaccine back. Let me see if I can find that story. Because I'm like, See? Yeah, 5 months ago.
South Africa has suspended its rollout of the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine after a small clinical trial suggested that it offered only minimal protection against mild to moderate illness from the COVID variant.
Now hold on, check this out. I'm gonna tell y'all what they did now. They got smart because they got smart because I'm telling you, if you don't know about this the TV thing or whatever like that, it's a true thing. And I'm gonna tell you, he tested one president tested the vaccine on
South Africa's leading infectious disease specialist and one of the chief medical advisors to the South African government. Thank you so much.
Tested it on some gophers, or some guinea pigs, something like that. Tested them, and then the test came back and said that the guinea pigs had corona. I'm gonna see if I can find this. I might have to find that one at a
much for your time this afternoon,
later
sir.
day.
Why suspend the AstraZeneca vaccine rollout? Isn't limited protection better than zero protection?
Good afternoon. So when we developed our overall vaccine strategy, we always wanted to have a diversity of candidates. And so AstraZeneca,
I don't think. Let me see if I can find that one where he tested it, because I was like, he tested it.
That showed it was effective against both mild and severe disease, including hospitalization. However, the study that was just published, that was just released yesterday, showed that the efficacy against mild disease is quite low, and that's supported by laboratory evidence as well. Now,
well, it was crazy because
about whether
he tested
also prevents severe disease and hospitalization.
Okay, here you go, right here. Okay, I found it. Okay, he tested the vaccine on goats. It wasn't rats. And then when he tested it, the test came back and said that the damn goats had COVID.
With global coronavirus cases crossing the 3.5 million mark, many countries are desperately trying to scale up their testing capacities. Several countries turned to the original epicenter of the virus, China, to get testing kits and other equipment. And many of these have been left bitterly disappointed over their quality. Now, Tanzania has joined the likes of Spain, the Netherlands, India, and Turkey in declaring Chinese testing kits as faulty. Reports of faulty COVID-19 testing kits from China have become...
Watch on, y'all. They about to go to it.
Twice sent back
about how the African president used it.
They were found to have very low sensibility. However, the African nation of Tanzania had to reject these kits for an entirely different reason. They are showing positive results, but not the kind that the government wants to see. Tanzania's President John Magufuli rejected the Chinese testing kits as faulty, saying that they showed positive results on samples taken from a goat and a pawpaw. The faulty testing kits might add to Tanzania's COVID challenge. The government is already being accused of cover-ups by its citizens and the laxity by the World Health Organization. Officially, Tanzania has reported more than 475 cases of COVID-19 and more than a dozen deaths. But experts believe that the outbreak may...
Now, even here's the net, more than a dozen deaths. Now, where else on the globe had the on the news they've been saying, and they've reported over dozens of deaths, dozens. We're not talking about hundreds, thousands. We're talking about dozens. I'm not saying that, and this, I wasn't even trying to use this video to uphold what I was saying as far as them having the least amount of cases in Africa. I was trying to show you about the goat thing, but she talking about dozens of deaths. Now, who else on the globe is talking about dozens of deaths? But I want to show it again. The president tested it on goats, and then said that the goats had COVID-19.
They showed positive results. Reject this. They are showing positive results, but not the kind that the government wants to see. Tanzania's President John Magufuli rejected the Chinese testing kits as faulty, saying that they showed positive results on samples taken from a goat and a pawpaw. The faulty testing kits might add to Tanzania's COVID challenge. The government is already...
And then I want to show y'all one more thing too. Now, this
especially in Tanzania.
vaccine. One of the vaccines had been given blood clots. So
What you did to me.
I'm trying to see if this is the one. I'm not sure if this is the one that's and well, it don't matter. It's been giving people blood clots no matter where it's at. But it one of the some of them have. Now I'm not saying all vaccines. I'm not trying to scare nobody into not taking the vaccine. This is just some stuff that's been on my mind that I've been thinking about.
Of the 25 million or so people that are also associated with bleeding and also with low platelets, and these are quite different to usual clots, for instance.
Okay. So far, my first point is that it was rushed because originally the World Health Organization, Dr. Fauci now was saying that it would take years to come up with the vaccine, for an effective vaccine. So this didn't take the amount of time that they originally said. They said that it was supposed to take years. They did it in months. Okay. Then we got cases with Africa. They're saying Africa is less than 2% vaccinated, yet they have the least amount of COVID cases and the least amount of deaths globally after Antarctica. But in Antarctica, everything's frozen. So, in Australia, I think Australia is leading everybody, Antarctica, and then the continent of Africa. And then the countries that are most vaccinated, Europe, the United States, Brazil, they have the most COVID cases and the most COVID deaths. So I'm just like, make that make sense. How is the people who has the least amount of vaccinated people, y'all heard them, less than 2% vaccinated. The other countries like the United States, Europe, at least 70% vaccinated, but they have less deaths and less cases. I heard the lady talk, she on there talking about dozens, while everybody else talking about thousands. And then the other thing that doesn't make sense to me is Dr. Fauci saying that vaccinated people, the CDC recommends that vaccinated people wear masks inside of their home. Now, see, sometimes just when we look at stuff in the news, we just don't really think. When we see something on TV, when we see something in the media, when we see something, we don't even think. We just take it, whatever it is, for face value, and we don't. Well, some people don't question or critical think, and just that we always have to ask that thing. You hear people see make it make sense. Like that's all I'm asking. Like make it make sense. Right here, the CDC is recommending that vaccinated people wear a mask inside their home. Hold on, we're gonna get to it right the commercial.
The physical properties of the virus, as best we know, haven't changed. The reason why this Delta strain is more transmissible is because there's just more of it. You develop more virus early in the course of your infection. You develop high viral titers very quickly. So that means if you want to derive protection, if you as an individual want to protect yourself from this virus,
mask quality does matter, and wearing a higher quality N95 or KN95 mask is going to afford you more protection in the setting of a more transmissible.
And this is a report from 5 days ago. I want y'all to know this is up to date.
The reality is we are dealing with a much different strain of this virus than we were even earlier in the spring, back in May, when the masking guidance was done, provided by the CDC at that time. That is their job. Their job is to look at evolving information, evolving data, an evolving historic pandemic, and provide guidance to the American public.
Okay, hold on. Let me get Dr. Fauci on here, because he was the one. The World Health Organization is saying it. Now y'all know Dr. Fauci is supposed to be like this. He worked for Barack Obama. He didn't work for everybody. He's like the big time. I haven't heard from Dr. Birch here lately, but he's like very reputable. Because some people may be like, okay, Dr. Fauci, you talking about what Dr. Fauci said, but that's why he's okay. Now check this out. This is 6 days ago. I want y'all to realize this is 6 days ago. He's saying this. I don't want y'all to think that it's no.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control today undid earlier advice and reimposed stricter mask-wearing guidelines around the country. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said people who are fully vaccinated should resume wearing masks indoors in regions where coronavirus infections and transmission.
Now check that out. They want people that's vaccinated, fully vaccinated.
Guidelines around the country. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said people who are fully vaccinated should resume wearing masks indoors in regions where coronavirus infections and transmission are high. She also recommended that everyone in K through 12 schools wear a mask, whatever their vaccination status. And late today, the White House confirmed that President Biden will announce on Thursday that all federal workers and contractors must be vaccinated.
Zone, that's the zone that the CDC is specifically talking about, not...
Seems unclear.
Well, I mean, the CDC has a coding system of blue, yellow, orange, red. It's easily accessible online. When you look at it, if you are in a red or an orange zone, that's the zone that the CDC is specifically talking about, not the yellow zone. And it really is the number of cases that you get per 100,000 population. For example, they talk about substantial, that's online. When you look at it,
that part seems unclear.
Well, I mean, the CDC...
Complicated for some Americans to follow?
Yeah, I think that most of the people, Judy, from a practical standpoint...
So, y'all see...
If you're in a high-level area...
Make it make sense.
Most of the country is in either an orange or a red zone.
Most of the country is either in an orange or a red zone.
If you look at the map, there are, particularly in the southern part of the country, when you look at the southern states, those are pretty much dominated by orange and red.
Dr. Fauci, the CDC is saying that this is based on new science, new data, showing that even those who are vaccinated can carry the virus with them. They can be contagious.
Okay, now check this out.
Seems to
people like what?
Those are pretty much dominated by orange and red.
Dr. Fauci, the CDC is saying that this is based on new science, new data, showing that even those who are vaccinated can carry the virus with them. They can be contagious. This seems to contradict what we've been told, that once you get vaccinated, you're protected.
Well, in some respects, yes, but what's changed, Judy, is the virus has changed. The recommendations and the discussion that we were having months ago that the CDC was basing their recommendations on, were dealing what was
okay, so
variant, which is considerably different.
So this is my thing. I'm vaccinated, right? So I'm not getting what is the relevance or what the purpose is of being vaccinated versus not being vaccinated if they're still requiring you to wear a mask inside of your home or asking you to wear a mask inside of your home. So it just leads me to believe that we were exactly where we already were with the virus. Like the vaccine isn't. I don't know. It just is something not right. It doesn't make sense that somebody that's fully vaccinated, for one, they're saying you can still carry the virus, you can still transmit the virus, and they even have people who are getting still catching. We got a senator or somebody, people that's vaccinated, fully vaccinated, are going to the hospital. And then they're trying to twist the narrative like it's people that's not vaccinated got this going. No, it can't be when the majority of the population is starting to get vaccinated. How could how, how could the numbers be increasing, or how could the numbers be growing?
Health officials say we're also seeing a rise in the number of vaccinated people testing positive for COVID.
And this is recent.
Expected. Remember, the vaccine is not a 100% cure, but it keeps you from getting hospitalized or dying from the virus. The most high-profile cases recently involved several members of the Texas Democratic Caucus in D.C. We learned over the weekend that at least 5 of the lawmakers, all vaccinated, tested positive for the virus. The good news, none are having severe symptoms thanks to the vaccine. Lauren Talarico is now live out in Katy. Lauren, still must be quite a shock for those vaccinated who then test positive. I understand you spoke to a couple of folks.
Yeah, of course. I spoke to 2 people in that boat today, and they say they hope their stories remind people that this pandemic is not over. Both Becky Hudson and Angela Perez have this in common.
Are you somebody that has always taken this virus seriously?
Yes. Angela's a nurse, and Becky has elderly parents.
I was really excited to be vaccinated.
They both got Pfizer shots early on.
Oh, excited. I was so ready.
Did your mentality change a little bit when you were fully vaccinated?
Yes, definitely a lot more hugging. I was going to the grocery store without a mask on, and I was kind of like, well, I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to get COVID.
But last month, she did.
I was mostly upset with myself.
In March, Angela got the virus too, even though her guard never came down. Contracted, she thinks, by her 1-year-old unvaccinated granddaughter.
We were shocked. We were really surprised that we got it.
Okay. So you heard that members of the Democratic caucus, and then we just got a nurse, regular citizens. I mean, people, how is the make it make sense that it's basically, to me, it's just looking like it's like a cover up. They tried to do the vaccine. Now they want us all taking this vaccine that doesn't look like it's working. And it's like cover ups. And then they're trying to blame it on people that's not vaccinated, saying that the reason why people are getting sick is because of people that are not vaccinated. And I just don't believe that that could be the case. It's just like something fishy going on. I don't know what's going on, but it's something like really weird going on, in my opinion, as far as around all of us getting vaccinated and taking this shot or whatever, because it doesn't seem like, or either it's just a cover up because they know they messed up and it wasn't working, and now they're trying to point the finger or point the blame at someone because they knew that it wasn't fixed in the first place. Because like I said originally, the vaccine was supposed to take years to make an effective one, and so what we may see is us just riding along with the test and being just pretty much being like guinea pigs or whatever to say, for lack of words. But it's just real strange that Africa, least amount of vaccinated people, least amount of deaths, least amount of people with coronavirus. Here in the United States, people that's vaccinated still getting it. Government officials, so we know it's not like, you know what I mean, government officials put it out there. That's the government. They look bad because they're part of government, and they the ones putting it out, and it's not working. Telling us to take it, and then it's not working. So it's just like make it make sense. And then you still have to wear masks. And I honestly believe that that is the most effective thing right now is wearing a mask because that's where we started off with um, when we first seen our cases drop down. I know here in Georgia our cases dropped down when we had to wear masks here in Atlanta and in other places. That's when we seen a decrease in the cases was um, when we wore masks. And basically, they're going back to the drawing board with what they said in the first place. It's not the vaccine, it's the mask that is going to protect you, or at least I believe it's the most effective right now because when you have your nose and your mouth covered, of course, then you can't inhale, anything or somebody sneezing. And if you touch something and then you touch your face, because we touch our face and more often than what we think, and just anything like when you touch a doorknob at a gas station or you touch a gas pump, imagine how many people touched that gas pump or touched the door handle before you did. I mean, so wearing a mask, I think, is the most effective way to prevent the spread of this. I mean, I'm not so sure that I'm protected um, with the vaccine um, because it seems like the most vaccinated places have the highest cases. So all I'm saying is just make it make sense. Like, did it really work to begin with? Is this like a testing stage? Are we being used as like guinea pigs until we get the real thing, maybe a year or 2 years from now? Like, what's going on? And then, like I said, they want to blame it and say this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's what's going on because they don't want to take responsibility, saying that the reason why the pandemic and surges are going up is because or people aren't vaccinated. Then some places want to mandate that workers and this people you have to be vaccinated to work here. Like I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on. Like I just don't know. Like it's not like making sense to me. And then okay, they're not vaccinated, so that's why it's spreading. So then this is the way this go. This is the American way. Okay. So the people who don't want to take the vaccination, the people who don't want to get vaccinated, okay, then leave them alone, let them die, whatever they're grown, they can make their own decision. Just like you can make your own decision to become alcoholic and die, smoke cigarettes and die, or whatever the case. We as adults want to choose to do die. So if people don't want to take the vaccination, leave them alone. Don't let them take the vaccination. I'm not understanding why people are being forced because if you're vaccinated and I'm not vaccinated, I chose not to be vaccinated. Let's say I chose not to be vaccinated, but you chose to be vaccinated, then you're protected. So I'm not understanding what the problem is here. But that was just something that was just food for thought for me because we got people getting blood clots from taking the vaccine, and then we got a president over in Africa that's testing the vaccine on a goat, and then the goat comes up positive for the coronavirus. Like different stuff like that. Like I watch different videos, and then just when you watch this video and you watch it, and then you just start putting things there, you like that don't make sense because I've seen multiple videos where these vaccines have been giving people blood clots. Now, I've seen multiple videos where people that are vaccinated are coming up positive with the coronavirus, and then I'm seeing places where people who are not as vaccinated as other places have least cases and deaths. So I don't know. But anyway, this is my channel, Black Light. Please like my video. Please subscribe. I have other videos on my channel that you might be interested in checking out. Thank you all for watching.